You want to send that text. The words are ready, but something tells you to pause. What if stepping back for a moment was actually the stronger move? Sometimes, curiosity begins when something familiar suddenly changes. The people who leave the strongest impressions are often busy living fully in the present. This video is about the journey between those two versions of yourself.
8 powerful principles rooted in psychology, self-growth, and genuine attraction. Human psychology responds strongly to uncertainty, anticipation, and meaningful experiences. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand why some people remain unforgettable. Before we begin, it's important to understand that these ideas come from psychology and human behavior, not manipulation. This isn't about getting someone to chase you. It's about becoming a person who naturally creates value in their own life.
When something is always available, people often stop paying attention to it.
We naturally place greater value on things that feel rare, meaningful, or difficult to obtain. When your attention becomes completely centered on one person, it can sometimes work against your confidence and growth. People are often drawn to those who have purpose, interests, and fulfillment beyond a single relationship. These 8 principles are designed to help you build confidence, create meaningful connections, and become more memorable.
Let's begin with the first principle, one of the most powerful shifts you can make in your mindset. Point 1, and it starts with changing how you think about attention, time, and availability. Psychologists have long studied how anticipation and uncertainty can capture human attention. Research suggests that unpredictable outcomes can sometimes create stronger engagement than predictable ones. Not every message needs an immediate response. Sometimes the best response comes after you've finished living your day.
When communication patterns change, people naturally become curious about the reason. The goal isn't to ignore people. The goal is to be fully present wherever you are. The strongest connections often grow in the quiet moments when people reflect on meaningful experiences. A rich and fulfilling life isn't a strategy. It's the foundation of genuine confidence. Healthy communication isn't about speed. It's about responding thoughtfully and consistently.
The more energy you invest in your own growth, the less you depend on external validation. When people enjoy your presence, reaching out naturally becomes a two-way street. Respond from a place of purpose, not pressure. That's the difference confidence makes. Point 2. And this is where attraction stops being something you chase and starts becoming something you naturally create. People are drawn to those who genuinely enjoy their own lives. Strong friendships create a sense of fulfillment that no single relationship can replace. New skills make you more interesting, not because they impress people, but because they expand who you are. A fulfilling life is built through experiences, not endless screen time. When people see you growing and enjoying life, curiosity often follows naturally. The goal isn't to look busy. The goal is to actually build a life you enjoy. Purpose creates a different kind of confidence, one that doesn't depend on attention from anyone else. Growth often becomes visible through reputation, long before people see it firsthand. The most attractive progress usually happens when nobody is watching. When people associate you with positive experiences, they naturally think about you more often. Build a life you're proud of, and the right people will notice the difference. Point 3.
And this one is about understanding the true value of your attention. In today's world, attention has become one of our most valuable resources. What you focus on grows stronger in your mind. Sometimes the most productive thing you can do is remove distractions and focus fully on what matters. Meaningful communication is remembered far longer than constant communication. People tend to remember quality more than quantity. Attention isn't just about talking. It's also about being fully present when someone is speaking. The goal is not to dominate someone's thoughts. The goal is to create positive experiences worth remembering. When your attention serves your goals, your confidence begins to grow naturally. People often remember how you made them feel, long after the conversation ends. Your attention should first serve your purpose, your growth, and your values. When you learn to invest your attention wisely, every area of your life begins to improve. Point 4, and this one is about understanding how memory actually works. Research suggests that people often remember emotional experiences more vividly than routine information. Years later, people rarely remember every message. They remember how certain moments made them feel. Unexpected experiences often become the stories people remember the longest. Shared experiences create emotional anchors that strengthen relationships over time. One of the secrets of memorable experiences is knowing when to end them, while the energy is still positive. The strongest impressions are often formed afterward, during moments of reflection. Thoughtful experiences communicate care in a way that words sometimes cannot. When people retell positive experiences, they often relive the emotions attached to them. Messages have their place, but meaningful experiences are often what people remember most. Point 5, and this is where everything starts to change, from the inside out. Every meaningful transformation begins with a simple decision to become a better version of yourself. The habits you build when nobody is watching often determine the future you create. Every workout is more than physical improvement. It's evidence that you're keeping promises to yourself. New skills create new opportunities, and opportunities often change lives. Small improvements repeated consistently can create extraordinary results over time. Real growth isn't always dramatic. Often, it's visible in your energy, habits, and confidence. Personal growth eventually begins showing up in every area of your life. When people notice your progress, the conversation naturally becomes different. The most important competition is between who you were yesterday and who you're becoming today. Self-respect is often built through small daily choices, repeated consistently. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is progress. The strongest statement you can make is the life you build through consistent growth. Point 6, and this one is rooted in a fascinating psychological principle known as the Zeigarnik effect. Our minds naturally seek closure. That's why unfinished stories often stay with us longer than completed ones. The unfinished part often captures our attention more than everything that's already complete. The best conversations leave people feeling energized, understood, and excited to continue later. Sometimes ending a conversation at a natural high point makes the next conversation even more enjoyable. Leaving room for future conversations creates anticipation rather than pressure. Meaningful conversations often stay with us because they connect ideas, emotions, and experiences.
The goal isn't to keep people guessing. It's to create conversations worth continuing. Point 7, and this one explores one of the strongest links between memory and emotion. Scientists have found that scent is closely connected to memory and emotion in many people.
Because scent is memorable, it can become part of the overall impression people associate with you. Consistency matters more than intensity. Subtle and pleasant is almost always better than overwhelming. People remember experiences as a combination of sights, sounds, emotions, and sometimes even scent. Many people have experienced a scent suddenly bringing back a memory they hadn't thought about in years. Often, it's the combination of small details that makes an experience memorable.
Scent can contribute to a memory, but character, presence, and meaningful experiences are what truly leave a lasting impression. Point 8, and this is the principle that outlasts attraction, conversation, and even time itself. Character. The stories people tell about you often become part of your reputation. The most memorable acts of character are often the ones performed when nobody is expecting praise. People may forget what you said, but they often remember how you treated others. Character is revealed most clearly through small actions repeated consistently. The people who leave the deepest impression are often remembered for their values rather than their achievements. When your actions consistently reflect integrity, people begin to trust, respect, and remember you. In the end, the strongest impression you can leave isn't mystery, status, or attention. It's character. Let's bring everything together. These 8 principles were never about manipulating anyone. They were always about becoming the strongest version of yourself. When you focus on growth, purpose, and meaningful experiences, people naturally notice. Stop obsessing over the next text. Start building the next chapter of your life. Become memorable through your growth, your character, and the life you build. Everything else follows from there. If you enjoyed this breakdown of psychology, attraction, and personal development, subscribe to Sovereign Desire for more videos that help you understand people, build confidence, and become the best version of yourself. Which of these 8 principles stood out to you the most? And which one are you going to apply first? Let me know in the comments below.